There you go.
It's always barbecue season. You always have to keep the grill going, even when it's like 0 degrees. And everybody thinks they're a great, grill master or they know the barbecue pit.
Yeah.
And a lot of people really think they've got the sauce fixed. Well, we've got the sauce man and the king of cookouts here in the studio, right here on St. Louis in Tune. Welcome to St. Louis in Tune, and thank you for joining us for fresh perspectives on issues and events with experts, community leaders, and everyday people who are driving change and making an impact that shapes our society and world. I'm Arnold Stricker, here with Mark Langston. Mark, top of the day to you, sir.
Yeah, good to be with you. Good to be anywhere.
I'm getting my mouth all basted with saliva because of the topic that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun topic.
It will be.
This will be fun, especially with really do you barbecue all year round?
I used to.
Yeah, I do. We do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now we've started the smoker thing.
Oh yeah.
This is our first year doing the smoker thing, so we barbecue. Anyway, just a little tease there. It's going to be a
and we're
great
going to
show.
talk about the difference between grilling, which is what most people do, versus barbecue, which is really smoking.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
I can't wait. Okay,
Yeah,
this
so
ought to be good. This ought to be pretty good.
It is.
Yeah.
So our return to civility, folks. We always try to encourage our society to be more civil. And this is a great one because it actually is a cultural thing in the Asian community. Remove your shoes when entering another person's home, especially if they're not wearing any. Think of it as an excuse to show off your festive holiday socks, unless they have holes in them. Then maybe you want to rethink that. So, matter of fact, we do that now because you walk around outside, you get all this junk on the bottom of your shoes, and then you track it through your house.
I get it.
Then you walk around and barefoot and accumulates lots of
stuff. Yeah. Junk. That's right. I know. I would appreciate if people would actually, there's a few folks that come in my home that do take off their shoes, but there's some that don't either. And I think I like that.
Yeah. We even went to a place, they had like guest slippers.
Ooh, now you're
for
talking.
you. Yeah. So
I like it when those workers come and they put those little booties on there.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Those little white booties or whatever those are, little things.
Kind
And
of like the hospital things.
yeah. And then they come in and you're right.
They don't track it around.
No, God knows where you
Especially if they're coming out of the mud,
or my backyard.
Right.
Or the neighbor's backyard. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So remove your shoes when entering another person's home, especially if not wearing any. Our return to civility. Well, our guest, he's a civil kind of guy. He has been not experimenting with sauces for a long time, but he's been around the block a couple times on sauces.
Right.
And we have Freddie Lee in studio of Freddie Lee's Gourmet Sauce. I want to give him a little intro here because this sauce, Mark, is just not for meat. It's soups, chili, sloppy joes. I haven't sloppy joe in a long time.
Man.
Spaghetti and tacos. It's gluten-free, vegan friendly, no high fructose corn syrup, and that's really important. The thing about Freddie's sauce is it's in over 1,000 stores in the United States and Jamaica.
Wow.
Here in St. Louis, which is where it's made. And this is not his first time gig. This is his kind of like retirement gig.
Yeah.
Freddie Lee, welcome to St. Louis in Tune.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I have in my possession right here, and I'm going to hold up to the camera. We have the mild, and then we have the spicy. And the initial name is ghetto sauce.
Yes.
And then you also have
A politically correct name.
which is
American Gourmet Sauce.
American Gourmet Sauce. Okay, so let's delve into this a little bit. How did you get your start making sauces?
Well, I always made sauce. I've been making sauce now for about 45 years.
Wow.
And it was a hobby because I'm a retired construction worker. I used to work for McBride and Sons Foundation and Footing. And at the end of the day, you know, when you get home or something and I got some meat that I'm sitting there and I don't want to waste it, I start grilling.
Okay.
And next thing I know, I start making sauce, and I just always made sauce. So everybody was saying, man, you ought to get out there, you ought to push it. Well, I'm thinking retirement, just to come home and watch the world go by, sit on the front porch and be still. Yeah, but God's got a sense of humor. So he saw what I didn't see. And my wife and I, we just stepped out on faith, and God took over.
Now, people say, oh, you ought to open up a restaurant, or you ought to, do that sauce. What made the sauce stand out in their palate that maybe the neighbor's sauce or the person down the street or their own sauce didn't do?
Well, I just put a lot of love in what I do.
Okay.
And everybody was telling me that that's different. That's a unique sauce. Because, matter of fact, the first store that we got into was Snooks. They was the first one that gave us an opportunity. And when they tried it, excuse me, when they tried it, they said, man, we love your sauce. They said, but that name, that it was ghetto sauce.
Right.
And they said, that name, you just don't know how many letters, how much feedback we're going to get over that name. I said, well, man, I live in the hood. I'm telling you where I'm from. Yeah. I wouldn't be a negative or racist. That's just the way it is.
Yeah,
Right.
what it is.
And they looked at each other. It was 5 of them. They looked at each other. They say, well, but you got to change the name. And then one of the managers says, well, you remember what Hitler did to the Jews? He put them in the ghetto. And he said, how would you think we put your sauce in Creve Coeur Snook store, in Ladue Snook store? He says, man, we would get shut down. And I said, yeah. I said, but you guys are failing to recognize Jesus Christ walked the earth. It was the ghetto. It wasn't called the ghetto.
Right.
But the ghetto always been here.
Right.
I say, so Hitler didn't just do that. And they looked at each other again and they say, well, but if you can change that name, we guarantee you we'll put that sauce in our store. And we've been with Snooks now for 15 years.
Wow.
And after that, it just took off.
And naming it ghetto sauce has an interesting story too.
Yes. How that came about. One day, my wife and I, we was at home. We hadn't even thought about a business. We just liked making sauce. So we made sauce. House was hot. Kitchen was hot. So we stepped out on the front porch and sitting there for a few minutes. I had a couple of cold beers, we sitting there relaxing. And all of a sudden it was a police chase. I mean, and this is in the summertime now. And you got people outside, kids jumping rope,
Right.
and it's just, and they was flying. And I looked at the wife. I said, baby, one day God gonna bless us to get out of the ghetto. And she said, yeah. And then she looked over at me. She said, won't you name your sauce ghetto sauce? I said, girl, you're gonna get us run out the country. I said, ain't no sauce called ghetto sauce.
Right.
And she says, well, you making it, put your name on it.
Right.
And now Freddie Lee, I'm named after my dad, his country name. I said, now I'm gonna put Freddie Lee on this sauce, on ghetto sauce, a country name, and ghetto. I said, baby, no. So you're trying to get us hurt. So,
I love it.
She says, well, we'll think about it. I say, okay, we'll pray on it and see what God said. So some time passed, say 3-4 months passed. And I was coming home from work. I was just closed the gate, going up the steps, and somebody drove by and blew the horn. And said, hey, man, you still making that sauce? I said, yeah, I got some ghetto sauce in there. And it just came out like that. And the guy said, ghetto sauce? So we both laughed, and ever since then, it's just been ghetto sauce,
Wow.
It just
So
come out.
At Schnucks, at
So-
Deerberg's, everywhere.
Yeah, so Schnucks is okay with because I'm looking at one of them right now and it says ghetto sauce on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that says okay, the
American gourmet sauce.
gourmet sauce. I beg your pardon. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this one with the ghetto sauce label? Is it anywhere? Can I get that?
Oh,
Somewhere?
yeah. Ghetto sauce is in 1,100 stores.
Okay.
We're in 100 Snook stores under the name American Gourmet.
So the Schnucks is the only one that's okay.
Deerberg's was okay with it.
Well, Deerberg's got a hold of it. It was American sauce at that time.
Okay.
Okay.
Because Snooks was doing their thing with it.
Yeah.
So I guess Deerberg's got wind of it, and then they jumped on it. and it was American sauce in their store.
Gotcha.
So one day I was doing a demo at one of the Dearborn stores, and somebody walked up to me and says, "Hey, you the ghetto sauce man?" I said, "Yeah." They said, "Well, where's the ghetto sauce?" So I held the jar up.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, no, we want to say ghetto sauce."
Yeah.
So I said, "Oh," I said, "Well, it's the same sauce,
Right.
but no, I want." Well, anyway, one of the managers heard that, and he come up to me and he says, "What's this about the ghetto sauce?" I said, "Well, it's the same sauce, man." I said, "It's just a different name,
Right.
Different
different
label.
label."
Yeah.
And the guy says, "I tell you what, bring in the ghetto sauce. Let's see what both of them, what they'll do."
Good for him.
Interesting.
Good for him.
And I did. And when I took it in there, man, the ghetto sauce took off. And the guy said, "Don't bring that label back, the American back no more."
And how did you, like, I know it's regional here in St. Louis, but how did you get national kind of exposure with this?
My wife and I, she set us up to go out and do different events like Memphis in May.
Mhm.
And one time there, this guy, we were a friend of mine's knew this lawyer, and this lawyer was going down to Augusta. He goes to Augusta every year, and he called me up and he says, "I want to take your sauce to the Masters." I'm like, "What? Oh, come on, man. I thought that was a joke. I'm like, "Man, come on." He says, "No, seriously. He says, "I've had your sauce many a times." He said, "I know it'll be a big hit in Augusta." I said, "Okay." So he says, "Go on down there, check it out, and let me know what you think." So my wife and I, we went off for a weekend. We drove down there and we looked it around, and we found a spot. They said, "No, you got to go on the inside and you cannot run out of food." I'm like, "Oh man." So came back home. We called the guy and he says, "Okay, he'll set it up for us." And once he did that, shoot, man, it took off. We went to the Masters, and we wasn't able to, the booth we were going to get on the inside, someone else had got it. So they put us right across the street, right out. You had to go by us in order to go inside the Masters.
Oh, okay.
So we sold sauce, we sold food, and Arnold Palmer
Yeah, this is a great story, Mark.
Yeah.
got our sauce.
Tell that story, Freddie.
This sounds like
okay.
a blessing
Yeah.
that you had.
Oh, it
That
was.
someone took your booth. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, traffic had bagged up, right? And Arnold Palmer, I didn't know it was him. And it was some guys in the front seat. They said, "Hey, come over here, bring me some of that sauce." So I said, "Okay." So I ran over there, gave him the sauce. They just busting out laughing at the name, ghetto sauce. And he says, "How much?" I told him what it was. And then guy in the back seat reached out and grabbed the sauce. And it was Arnold Palmer. And he looked at me and he smiled and laughed and gave me a thumbs up. I'm like, wow.
He didn't give you a glass of his
Arnold Palmer drink.
Yeah, his drink,
Right.
his lemonade. And you also met John Daly too, right?
I cooked for him the whole week I was there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That guy likes to eat,
Yeah,
doesn't
he
he?
does.
Wow.
His trailer we was right beside his trailer.
Okay.
And man, we cooked baby backs, pork loins, chicken,
Oh, my.
and he was gobbling it up. He paid us in advance.
Wow.
So
That's
I mean,
great.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
is Arnold Stricker with Mark Langston of St. Louis Entomb. We're talking to Freddie Lee about Freddie Lee's Gourmet Sauces, or AKA Freddie Lee's Ghetto Sauce. And, when I think about doing something like this, you go from your house, your kitchen,
Right.
cooking with all, on the stove,
Right.
and now you have to kind of start to mass produce this. Walk us through how you went to another location and then another location to the location that you're at right now.
Okay. Well, since I was still working at McBride and Son, and we got off from work, say 4:00, get home. We have to go down to, at that time, we was just in like 15 stores, and we'd go down to St. Patrick's Center. That's where, because they're FDA approved. So we go down there at 5:00. Nobody's in the kitchen, so we do our thing in the kitchen. At about 2 a.m, we're finished.
Oh gosh.
Now we have to go to work. I have to be at work like 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Man, that was pretty hard. And my wife, she was working too. She was working for SSM. She was a troubleshooter. She worked for a private firm.
Okay.
So she kept 5 hospitals, their records.
Ooh.
So she'd go in there and fall asleep
Oh,
at the computer, and I'm out in the field.
Mhm.
I can't really sleep because there's a lot of work going on
Right.
out there. So once that started growing, we got like 25 or 40 stores. We had to have somebody to make the sauce for us.
Right.
So that's when King's Foods Bottling Company came into play.
Okay.
Somebody told me about them. I went over there. They're in Belleville. I went over there and gave, we signed a non-disclosure and gave my recipe. So then they start tweaking it and they finally got it.
Okay.
Stores start clamming. Now they told me, you get 200 stores, we're going to reduce your costs.
Mm.
Mind you, we was in like 40 stores at that time.
Mhm.
I said, okay. Well, we got 200 stores. The cost went up.
Uh-uh. No, it's not right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Costs went up. So we had invested so much money into this, we couldn't bag down.
Right.
And we just, have firm belief in Jesus Christ that he was going to take care of it because he put us in this situation and
Right.
he wasn't going to drop us off. He
Right.
brought us this far.
Right.
Anyway, the sales started growing. We were getting we got in 500 stores
Wow.
and things just started moving. Now Hy-Vee, we're in 270 Hy-Vee stores. So I'm out there going to different cities doing demos at Hy-Vee stores. Oh man.
They wear you out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And now mind you, I'm still working. I can still got an 8-hour job.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
So we started doing that.
Hmm.
Then it was 500. Then we got to 700 stores. I had to stop work because I couldn't continue. It was really putting a tear on me, and the company was complaining.
So when we say 700 stores, how many jars are you shipping to them on average?
I'm driving myself. I'm not shipping.
You're driving
some
these
to
jars
stores.
to each store.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
No wonder you're exhausted.
Oh man.
And would it
we
be?
wasn't in warehouses then.
Oh,
We're in warehouses now.
okay.
But and even in Snook stores, because we were in 100 Snook stores, I had to go to every store.
What?
Yeah, at every store, I have a truckload of sauce, doing a demo, and I'll do 3 stores, Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Mhm.
and I'm just going to stores all around.
Wow.
And I did the same thing with Hy-Vee, and I did the same thing with Deerberg. All of our stores, I did that. I had to. Now we in the warehouses, so I just take it to the warehouse, and then they'll distribute
They take
it, and then I'll go out and do demos at those stores.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a job, man.
Yeah.
And now you have a place that's kind of all your own.
Yeah. We once we left King's Foods Bottling Company, God has blessed us. We were able to get a factory down by the Luminaire Casino through Justine Peterson. So it was a great startup building.
Mhm.
But then the sales start growing more. We outgrew that place. And my
Golly.
wife's
Gee
my
whiz.
wife's office, we turned that into a storage bin. Now we were making other sauces for other people too.
Okay.
So we were stocking their jars and their supplies, and we just had no space. So God led us to another space, and now He blessed us with a strip mall, and it's right there on 1912 Carr. So and we were able to lease out some of the spaces, and now we got a huge factory. You guys got to come down
I
and
was
see our
just,
we need to
factory.
do
just
that.
thinking I'd
That'd be
like to
fun.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
While he's saying that, I'd like to see how that factory works.
Yeah, it's Freddie Lee's gourmetsauces.com. That's FREDDIE. Lee's, LEES, gourmetsauces.com. How many people do you have working for you, Freddie Lee?
We have 6.
Okay.
And only problem we're having now is trying to keep up with our jars and tops and things of that nature, because they keep saying there's a shortage of stuff. And we'll go and get, say, 7 pallets of mason jars. We'll go through those kind of fast.
Wow.
And then you place another order. What we'll do when we're down to the last 2 pallets, we'll place an order.
Mhm.
And they say, okay. They take our money. Then when we run out, they don't have the jars.
Mm.
I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So why do I have to pay you first
Right.
and
you
I
don't
still
deliver?
don't get it?
Yeah.
You know? So, and then one time there, we get our glasses from Arkansas Glass. I had to drive there to go get it. We went and rented a 18 or 16-foot truck.
Mm-hmm.
We went and got 4 pallets. It came on back. Now, mind you, we had already paid for this, and shipping is like $600.
Right.
Oh,
It's not
my.
cheap.
No, so we already paid for it. I get there, they gave us our money back for shipping,
That's good.
but then they want to charge us a little more because they had already paid their drivers. That's what they told us.
Mm-hmm.
So how you gonna charge me more?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I had
You know,
to roll with it.
And listeners, you have to understand that this is what small business owners go through all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't just pick up the phone and, well, they can, but they're going to pay for it. But you have, Freddie Lee starting out, going to all these places. And then this is what a real entrepreneur in my book does.
Mhm.
They don't sit around. They take charge of it. Let's just go down and get it.
Mhm.
Because when you're relying on somebody else, then you're going to,
Yeah, and
something's going to be happening. You're going to
Yeah.
be disappointed.
not only that, you got orders. These stores are ordering product,
Right.
and you got to keep that rolling, because if not, then they're going to take you off the shelf.
Right.
So
Very, very interesting. I've got, let's see. I want to talk about the process of making this sauce. I'm not going to ask you your recipe.
Oh, are you
But-
sure? Go and ask him.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Come on,
Because there's a lot of different,
You could
and
say
we'll talk
no.
about sauces here after the break. Bunch of different kinds of sauces. There's all the Carolina sauces. There's the
Yeah.
Texas sauce. There's the Kansas City sauce, and
mhm.
all those kinds of things. But I think about ingredients and that you have here was when you first started making this at your house, and then you had to start mass producing it. Did you have to change the formula at all for like the FDA or anything like that?
Yeah, but since you mentioned that, when I was making sauce at home, I was making sauce for guys, my coworkers,
Right.
because they'll put money in. Because it costs too much to make that.
Hmm.
So everybody will pool money,
Mhm.
and then when I make it, I'll call them. They'll bring their pots or pickle jars or whatever. So this particular day, now we had this big old pot. This particular day, I was at the house making the sauce. So I tasted it, and it didn't taste right to me. I'm like, dog. So I tasted it again. So I called the wife. I say, hey, baby, come taste this. I said, I did something wrong. Now I'm thinking I got to pay for all this. I got to come out of my pocket because I done messed up, right?
Right.
She tasted it. She said, what did you do? I said, I don't know. She said, well, whatever you did is better than you ever made it. So now I'm freaking out.
What's wrong with my taste bud?
Yeah. So now I'm walking through the house and I'm talking to God. Show me what I did, Lord. So now I'm pulling everything out of the cupboard that I thought I used. I'm pulling all seasons out of the drawer. Out of the cupboard. And I'm pushing them aside. I use this. Come to find out, it was 2 ingredients.
Mm.
2 changed that taste of that sauce.
Wow.
And that's what you
That you
tasting
added
now.
or that you left out?
No, I added.
Okay.
And I didn't even know I did it. I never used it.
Wow.
And those 2 ingredients made that difference.
Mhm.
I'm like, what?
That's amazing.
That's God working.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
that's-
right.
That's what it was.
Divine intervention.
Divine sauce.
Right. We need to
So,
change the name.
Yeah. So I was baffled.
I think divine ghetto sauce is better. Divine intervention ghetto sauce.
Yeah.
We're talking to Freddie Lee about his gourmet barbecue sauces, and ghetto sauce, good on grilled meat, fried meat, smoked meat, baked meat, Any kind of thing. I bet you put this on with baked beans too.
Oh yeah,
Oh man, that'd
Oh.
be really good.
smoked salmon.
Stop
Ooh,
this.
yes.
Oh my
Now
God.
I'm salivating now. Am I drooling yet?
I don't think I've ever had barbecue sauce on smoked salmon.
Okay, well, what we do if
Yeah.
you're grilling it or baking it,
Mm-hmm.
I lightly glaze it.
Yeah.
Because it's going to caramelize. Now, if you put too
Oh.
much on there, you might as well get rid of the fish because you didn't messed it up.
Right.
You didn't
right.
overdid. You still want to taste the fish.
Yes.
You know what I
right.
mean?
Right.
So, but
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Well, we're going to take
just
a break while we
glaze. I
while we
like
wipe
that.
our mouths with our
Oh,
napkins
all
here.
right.
We'll be right back for our next segment of the show. You're listening to St. Louis in Tune with Arnold Stricker and Mark Langston on the U.S. Radio Network. This is Arnold Stricker of St. Louis in Tune on behalf of the Dred Scott Heritage Foundation. In 1857, the Dred Scott decision was a major legal event and catalyst that contributed to the Civil War. The decision declared that Dred Scott could not be free because he was not a citizen. The 14th Amendment, also called the Dred Scott Amendment, granted citizenship to all born or naturalized here in our country and was intended to overturn the U.S. Supreme Court decision on July 9, 1868. The Dred Scott Heritage Foundation is requesting a commemorative stamp to be issued from the U.S. Postal Service to recognize and remember the heritage of this amendment by issuing a stamp with the likeness of the man Dred Scott. But we need your support and the support of thousands of people who would like to see this happen. To achieve this goal, we ask you to download, sign, and share the one-page petition with others. To find the petition, please go to dredscottlives.org and click on the Dred Scott Petition Drive on the right side of the page. On behalf of the Dred Scott Heritage Foundation, this has been Arnold Stricker of St. Louis in Tune.
At St. Louis in Tune, we strive to bring you informative, useful, and reflective stories, as well as interviews about current and historic issues and events that involve people, places, and things. We cover a wide range of topics, such as the arts, crime, education, employment, faith, finance, food, health, history, housing, humor, justice, and sports, and that's just to name a few. While St. Louis in Tune originates from the Gateway City and covers local topics, we also connect to what's going on nationally as well. If you missed any of our previously aired programs of St. Louis in Tune, simply visit stlintune.com. That's stlintune.com. There you'll find the show notes and everything that was mentioned in that episode and all the other great episodes as well. And if you've got an area that you'd like us to examine deeper, well, just let us know by dropping us a note at stlintune@gmail.com. That's stlintune@gmail.com. St. Louis in Tune. It's heard Monday through Friday on the USRadioNetwork.com and many great radio stations around the U.S. and, of course, right here in St. Louis. Our website again is stlintune.com. Visit us today. That's stlintune.com.
Well, welcome back to St. Louis in Tune with Arnold Stricker and Mark Langston. We have tidied up our mouths and we were drooling before the break because of the discussion that we were having about barbecue and barbecue sauces. And Freddie Lee is here, and he's talking about Freddie Lee's Ghetto Sauce and Freddie Lee's Gourmet Sauce, which are located in Schnucks and Dierbergs and Hy-Vees and all. There's a whole
Fresh
list on the
Time.
website, FreddieLee'sGourmetSauces.com. And yeah, I didn't bring my little.
It's a pamphlet in there.
That's right.
Yeah.
There we go. This is what I got from you down at Soulard. Bauman Meat, City Green Produce, Brother Diner, Cotton's Ace Hardware out in Die Olivia's and Vinegar in St. Charles, Don's Specialty Meats, LB's, Fireside, Fresh Time, Hy-Vees all around the world there, Kendrick's. Let's see, Maritime Market. I'm leaving some out here. Normandy Golf Club.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Peach Sure Save Market.
He's hoity-toity.
Yeah. Swiss Meats, Straub's, Wine and Cheese, Vincent's. Okay. So the list goes on and on. You can check. It's a dipping sauce, cocktail sauce. And when I was
Mm.
studying
Mm-mm-mm.
for this particular show, it says here the sweet, tangy, and boastful flavor will tantalize your meat side dishes and snacks. The sauce grabs your taste buds. Yes, it does. And will take them on a joyride of flavor.
Mm.
I love that.
Thank you.
So I was like, my gosh, barbecue sauce is a condiment mark generally. And it's vinegar, tomato paste, or ketchup, liquid smoke, onion powder, mustard, spices, black pepper, sometimes mayonnaise,
Mhm.
sugar, molasses, and it's used as a marinade, a basting, condiment, topping. But I was going like, okay, East Carolina sauce, West Carolina sauce, South Carolina mustard sauce, Memphis, Kansas City, Texas, Alabama white sauce. It's like, good night.
Well, St. Louis has ghetto sauce.
Yes.
Forget Kansas City. We got our ghetto sauce here.
And Kansas City's sauce style is kind of what most people I think use. It's kind of like the sweet, it's the
Yeah.
tomatoey one.
Chicago's got a sweet too.
Yeah,
Yeah, Chicago's sweet.
they always have to do something different.
I
They
know,
have their own
they're-
hot
yeah,
dogs and their
yeah.
own pizza.
Yeah, what is that all about?
I know. They got the Cubs, I guess.
I don't. Yeah, that's it.
They have to do something.
Too bad.
Now, when you were making this at home, I'm sure you had these big pots on the stove, and now you've got these huge vats and stuff. We were
Yeah.
talking a little off air. Go into that a little bit.
Yeah, we have two kettles. We have an 80-gallon kettle and we have a 60-gallon kettle. And when we make our sauce, it has to be FDA approved at 180. But normally I'll do 200 because sometimes you're doing so many other things, and I'm checking the acid level, I'm checking the temperature. Then I go off and start doing something else, just checking on what the guys are doing. And then I forget, to cut the temperature down or something so it can stay at 180. Well, when I check it to get ready to start running through the system, it's 200. But that's okay.
Right.
Because you got to have it 180.
Right.
And then I'll check my acid level. So everything is fine with that. And I just start pumping sauce out.
Wow.
Now, do you have, I'm sure, distributors that provide you with the raw materials and everything? Did you pick them out? Did they come talking to you, or how did that?
No, my
happen?
wife picked them out.
Okay.
And McCarthy Brothers is the only one we deal with
Okay.
because, they got the real deal,
Mhm.
And my spicy sauce is, and I don't use jalapeno peppers.
Really?
I use regular ground red pepper.
Okay.
Now they got some of the best red pepper, and it's hot.
Right.
They got the best, and that's what I use. Use theirs.
And some people on a spicy sauce, they think it's gonna blow up in their mouth. I kind of get it on the back end.
Yes.
It's not like in your face right away. It's kind
Exactly.
of on the back end for me.
Now what I do, I want to have flavors.
Yes.
So you're gonna get your flavors first, and then you're gonna pop. You're gonna get that little hit. And I'm speaking of spicy, and what it does is gonna let you know it's there. Then it'll just ease off of you, but you'll still be getting flavors. Now the mild sauce has a little bit of a bite because when I made it, I didn't want to make it like ketchup.
Right.
But once you just say, for instance, you're using it as a dip, your chips or pork rinds or nachos or something, you're going to get that bite. I'm speaking of the mild sauce.
Mhm.
You're going to get that bite because you're eating it straight out of the jar. But once you add it to your foods, you're not going to get the bite. You're going to get flavor.
Which is important because I've been to places where the stuff is so hot, you don't get any of the spice flavors. You just
Yeah.
get heat,
Takes the fun out of it.
and then you don't
actually.
taste
You
what
don't
you're
taste
what you're
nothing.
eating.
Everything is gone.
Yeah, your taste
Yeah.
buds are burned.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I was looking at the ingredients and he used a magnifying glass, but there's a lot of ingredients in here.
Yeah.
It is.
You're a chemist, I guess.
No. What we did,
There's I think I counted up. I was up to like 20 or something, and I know there's more than that in there.
no, it's about that.
Is that it?
Yeah. But what we did, we went to Mizzou
Mm.
to their they broke it down. They gave us our nutrition fact
I see.
and all our ingredients. So that's how we got that,
Now, did the group that you when you went down to by Lumiere, did they say, hey, these are the groups you have to go to? Or when you were down at St. Patrick's, like I would never have thought to go to Columbia, to Mizzou to get, hey, can you check
No.
the ingredients? I wouldn't know how to do that. How did you know how to do that? Is that part of like some book on how to be an entrepreneur?
No, I give that credit to my wife. She handles all of our paperwork. I don't mess with no paperwork.
Okay.
I don't mess around. I'm not computer inclined.
Okay.
I run the shop. I make the sauce. I'm my own distributor, and she don't bother me, and I don't bother her.
Because you each do your job
We
very
do our
well.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's how they've stayed married so long.
Yeah, tell me about it.
If I'm putting this, and here are some different ways just to grill or barbecue being really smoking,
Mm.
is, and I guess it depends upon the kind of meat. Like if you were going to prepare some meat, whether it's pork or beef, do you marinate in this? Do you put it lightly on? Like if you're barbecuing,
Yeah.
aka smoking,
Yeah.
do you kind of turn it and then put it on a little bit at a time, or how do you go about doing that?
Well, I marinate my briskets, my pork steaks, my chicken. And I just, well, you know how thick a brisket is. I
Right.
just take my fork and I
Yep.
kind of tenderize it a little bit.
Right.
Then I get a Ziploc freezer bag.
Mhm.
I pour that sauce in there, pour that and put that brisket in there, and I just rub it in there pretty good. And I let it sit 4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now,
In the fridge?
yeah.
Okay.
And now when I'm getting ready to put it on the grill, I get me a foil. I get a pan and then put it in there.
Mhm.
Now that sauce that I got in that Ziploc bag,
Mhm.
I pour that in there. And I just cover that bad boy with foil
Mm.
and just let it sit. Poke a few holes in there in that foil. And I let it simmer in that sauce.
Mm.
And when I come back, you can take a spoon and just break it off.
Oh,
You don't
my.
have to cut nothing.
So just so I have this right, you got the foil down, you got the brisket on it, you put all the sauce on, then you put another tin foil, like a tent or whatever you
Yeah.
call it over it.
Yep.
Put a few holes in that.
Yep. Now, when I do that, I don't lay it flat
Mhm.
because I don't want it to touch the meat. I kind of raise it up,
Right.
get a little arch on it,
Yeah.
Ah,
and stick a few little holes in it,
okay.
and it just cooks itself. I don't even have to worry about it. You know,
And that's in a smoker, I guess.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
a smoker.
Oh my.
And when I just say, for instance, you want to bake, because a lot of times I don't want to go outside.
Mm.
I'll bake my pork steaks. I'll bake my chicken.
Mhm.
Now, what I do, I put a little water in the pan.
Yeah, this is good.
Really?
I read this on
Oh,
your
okay.
website. I say it. It's
I'm-
really good.
I'm taking notes.
I put a little water in the pan. I put my chicken or pork steak in it, and I might sprinkle a little seasoning on it, not a lot, just a little bit. And then I'll let it, put it in the oven. I'll let it get some of that grease out of the meat.
Mhm.
You get most of you're not gonna get it all, but you're gonna get most of it out. Then I'll pour that out. Once I pour that out, then I pour sauce on top of it, put it back in the oven, and it just sticks like glue.
Oh my.
Yeah,
I like it. It needs to stick like glue. That's when it's the best. When it's, it's like
I mean, I can't tell you how
caramel. I
my
know.
mouth is just.
My mouth's watering too.
I don't need a glass of water.
No, and I'm taking notes. Freddie Lee. Do you have a cookbook, Freddie Lee?
No, sir.
Oh my goodness.
Are you
need
thinking
to-
about one?
You should.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
should have a
Really?
Yeah,
Freddie Lee, you should have
that.
a cookbook.
We thought about many days, but it seemed like we just don't have the time.
I bet.
you
I
know?
bet.
Just the condiments that go along with some really good meat. Sometimes just
Yeah.
they're like a nice supporting cast.
Oh man.
You know, if you get some,
Mm.
I like really good potato salad, but there's a lot of different varieties of
Mhm.
potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah.
coleslaw. There's
Yeah.
you know, there's
Yeah,
you know whether it's the
yeah.
vinegar coleslaw or it's the
Or-
mayo
Yeah.
Mayo or
coleslaw.
whatever they call it. Yeah.
Now I do a pork butt. Now when I make my pork butt,
Hold on. I'm running out of room.
I
here.
uh I like to cut them up in hunks, and then I'll put it in a crock pot. I got a pretty big size crock pot at the house, and I just let it simmer in its own juices.
Yeah.
I don't add no water or nothing, and it just you're getting what you're doing. You're getting the grease out the meat,
Right.
And again, I'll start scooping it out as much as I can because you don't want your sauce all greasy.
Right.
And,
Right.
you know, you're
Mhm.
not really tasting sauce. You're
Right.
tasting a lot of grease.
Yeah.
So I get as much as I can out. Then I pour sauce in it and
Mm.
just let it simmer in that sauce.
Mm.
And it just, you can just make you pulled pork sandwiches. Have you some
I know.
mashed potatoes or something on the side,
Wow. Homemade pickles.
Yeah. Oh my
Oh,
goodness. Yeah.
Now, let's-
Oh,
we were talking about because mustard. Some people would put mustard on that too.
Mhm.
You're
I'm working on the mustard-based sauce.
right.
I haven't gotten it down the way
Really?
I want it yet. I've been working on that almost a year now. Though.
wow, and
Yeah.
that's more of a Carolina sauce.
Yeah, that's in Memphis.
Memphis. Okay.
That's where I first tasted it. in
Okay.
Memphis.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Memphis.
Yeah.
Beale Street. There's some good stuff on Beale Street.
Oh man.
Now, what
yeah.
about
it
like
really
Alabama
is.
white sauce? Have you kind of experimented with that or had that?
No, I haven't.
I had that. We were going down. Where were we going? Down Mississippi, down to New Orleans or New Orleans, and we stopped at a barbecue place, and it was like, what in the world is that? And
Mm.
it was Alabama white sauce, and it's a mayo-based sauce that includes apple cider vinegar, sugar, salt, black pepper,
Mm.
used predominantly on chicken and pork.
Mm.
Mm.
That
And
sounds
it's
good.
Yeah, and some of the local barbecue places, they'll have some of them may have a white sauce,
Mhm.
which is kind of weird
Mm.
when you're putting it on the barbecue. It's like
Yeah, I've tried that. It didn't
doesn't
appeal to me.
do anything for you.
No.
So Freddie Lee's ghetto sauce, I've noticed it's in a we talked about it earlier, but I want to know, why is it in a glass jar? I guess you could have done a plastic bottle,
Yeah.
or
Well, we're doing plastic for Amazon because we ship through Amazon, but Amazon had ordered a pretty decent order from us one day,
Hmm.
and they busted it up.
Oh gosh.
I mean, man,
ah,
it was all busted up. Well, anyway, they told us if we can come up with plastic, it'll help them and it'll help us. So now we got the right plastic bottles that can hold the heat.
Mm-hmm.
At
Oh.
first, we had some that couldn't hold the heat,
Oh wow.
and the bottles just shriveling up and everything.
really?
This guy was going to charge us $5,000 just to make a mold. I'm like, man, please.
Really?
You know?
Wow.
So we bypassed that, and
Good.
then my wife found somebody who had the right type of bottles.
Okay.
So now that's what we're doing now. So we're getting ready to ship to Amazon within maybe a month now.
Mhm.
She's going through the paperwork with them.
Mm-hmm.
So once that happens, then we'll start shipping pallets to them because that's what they want, pallets.
Wow.
Now we got the mason jars
Mhm.
because it was old school.
Yeah.
And people want to, they
I like them.
they save it when they
Mhm.
Right.
when they preserving
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's why we
Because they
did
can buy a
that.
lid and put it right on there.
Yeah.
Well, I like
Yeah.
the mason jar a
I
lot.
do too.
I
Thank you.
just was wondering why, if there was, I like it a lot.
And even if you don't can, you could probably use that for
a glass.
a glass.
glass.
Exactly.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, this comes-
margarita would go in there.
This is 16 ounces right
I
here.
know.
So
Yeah.
what other sizes do you sell?
We have quarts and gallons, 34 ounce in the gallons. Now we used to do Bogarts. But
Really?
yeah, it was just for the restaurants though.
Okay.
We was doing the 5-gallon buckets.
Okay.
We don't make them to put it on a shelf. Yeah, so
A
But-
5-gallon bucket of sauce, Mark.
I know.
yeah,
That's a lot of sauce.
Oh,
But if you're
man.
doing a big barbecue
yeah,
or there's like a big festivity going on, I can understand that.
We're a sauce family. Our family is.
yeah, we
we-
are too.
Are you?
Yeah,
we
oh,
just do
man, yeah.
kind of have that sauce. We got little cups for the sauce. Everybody's got their own. We take it serious.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. This is great. And we've bought this before ourselves. I mean, we've had, when you came in and showed me the ghetto sauce, I said, Freddie, we got that at home.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
And I didn't know about the spicy though. Spicy's kind of nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But it isn't over the top.
Spicy.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
No,
Which I appreciate.
Thank you.
I
So
mean,
do I. Because
Yeah.
you know, Father Time told me to back down.
I know they do. I know.
Because
My
I-
doctor's saying too. You do too much sauce,
Yeah,
Mark. You
man.
got to cut back on that sauce.
And when I was a younger man, I love that, hot.
Yeah, my son is that way.
But now, I still want some heat,
Right.
but I don't want, to pass out,
Yeah.
No, I don't
high
want to
blood
have to.
pressure and all that.
Yeah, I don't want to have to get a perspiration rag out.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
You can buy online, folks, FreddieLee'sGourmetSauces.com. And you've got some aprons in there. You've got lots of different things. There's also the locations in which, if you're not sure of which Schnucks or Hy-Vee or Deerbergs you can go to, the listing is on here. Steve's Hot Dogs even will have that. And
Grand, yeah.
thinking about that. So this is Arnold Circle with Mark Langston of St. Louis and Tune. We've been talking to Freddie Lee about his ghetto sauce, aka gourmet sauce, if you're in Schnucks and you see that like that. What's been the biggest surprise in getting all of this from the start to where you are now?
Oh, wow. People loving what we do.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling you earlier, you got to love what you do
Mm-hmm.
or don't do it. And I truly love making sauce, always have. And I get a super joy, people telling me, hey man, you got some good sauce. Your sauce is better sauce than anybody I tried. Well, I mean, my head is not swelling up. Now, don't get me wrong. I just love it because I love what I do. And if, and people show that. So, that's my thrill.
Yeah, Mark, that's really what is the mark of a chef.
Right.
Because chefs love providing food to someone and making it so that it's enjoyable and very tasty. And when they know that people enjoy what they've put out in front of them, that's the reward they get back.
Absolutely.
So should we call you Chef Freddie Lee?
I don't know about all that.
He's modest.
You are very modest. You're very humble about that.
Yeah.
And that's greatly
I
appreciated.
know it.
Thank you so
You're not
much. man.
thumping your chest like this is the
Oh,
best
no.
sauce,
Oh,
since
no.
day one.
God
Yeah.
bless me with that.
I-
So I just, I enjoy the ride that he's got me on.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's a good
but
ride.
I don't take the credit because he did that.
That's
I-
good.
I didn't do it.
Because the minute you start doing that, you know what
Yeah.
happens.
He steps back
That's correct.
and he'll let you fall.
That's
Mhm.
right.
And then you're gonna wonder what happened. What did I do? He'll bring it to your memory.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
you remember
will.
when?
Yeah.
I tell you what. Yeah. So spaghetti, you use it in
Oh,
spaghetti?
man, yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yes.
Yeah, I'm,
Talk about that.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm just like, what? Spaghetti?
Now, when we make spaghetti,
Okay, I'm writing. Hold on. Do it slow. I want to make sure I get it all down.
we like Prego or Ragu spaghetti
Okay.
sauce. Now we'll use a little of that and we'll use our sauce,
Okay.
and it just kicks out the flavor.
Okay.
You're not getting a barbecue spaghetti,
Right.
you're getting spaghetti.
Right.
Now, when we do our meatballs, because
Mhm.
she might make the meatballs separate, what she'll do, she'll just roll them up there and then and put sauce on it and just put it in a Tupperware container
Uh huh.
and
Let
let
it
it
sit there.
set.
Mm-hmm.
And then she'll do her thing.
Mm-hmm.
So now we got the meatballs and we got the spaghetti. We eat a lot of ghetto sauce.
Well, I would hope. I would hope so.
Yeah.
And we make it, and I don't waste it. I don't, even when I'm grilling. If I just say I got me some baby backs on the grill, I'll cook them bad boys, and just when they're about ready, I'll cut it just to see.
Mhm.
Then I'll likely glaze it.
Right.
I'll glaze it, and it caramelizes. I'll glaze it again,
Mhm.
and it caramelizes. Then I'll flip it. I'll glaze it again. Now the sauce is thick on it. Now
Mhm.
it's not falling in the fire.
Yes.
See, because a lot of people mopping on there, you're throwing away a lot of sauce.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
I
that's
don't,
true.
I don't waste no sauce, man, and I make it. And, and I got sauce at home. I got sauce at the shop, but yet still, I'm not going to waste it because it costs too much to make.
See, he's not only the sauce man, he's the grill meister
Mm.
and the Q meister.
Right.
Because those are things you
I
learn.
know.
Either somebody's taught you
I
that,
know.
or you've observed that,
I did.
or by trial and error.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of that, awful lot of that.
Now, do you do anything special with hamburgers? Hamburgers, one of my favorites. I don't know.
Sometimes
You do like you
know,
do with those meatballs. You maybe pour it in there and let it simmer for a little bit in,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a Tupperware or something.
hmm
I'm just
My
yeah.
wife, when she does her meatloaf, she does that a lot because she makes a lot of, man, I don't know how to put it, but we do a lot of experimenting. And she say, "Oh, I got this great recipe," and then she'll come up with it. "What you got, baby? What you got?" She'll show it to me, and we'll go in the kitchen and tinker around and get it. It's just the way we do.
Mm.
You know, it's joy, man.
What store is the farthest from here? Like, are you in like Maine or, Hawaii or?
No, as far as we ever done shipped was Canada,
Okay. Wow.
and I met them down at Suloy Market.
Okay.
And these guys came in. They came in laughing at the name. I mean, really falling out.
Mhm.
So I let them taste it, and then they said, "Oh, wow, ooh."
Change their tune.
Yeah. Then they told me where they was from, and then they ordered it, and it cost quite a bit to
Mhm.
ship.
Right.
So now, what they did, they ordered like three jars. Then they told some other people. They call us once a year, and they ordered like 7 or 8 cases. Now they got other people involved. So when we ship, it's not all on one person. Everybody then anteed up.
How many jars in a case?
12.
Okay. All right. Man.
Can I ask another? I just
yeah.
have so many questions.
going. Keep going.
I know it. The Bloody Mary mix.
Oh yeah.
What is that about? You're putting.
Okay.
Are you putting Freddy's Ghetto Sauce in Bloody Marys?
Yes.
This
yes.
I gotta hear.
Okay. Now,
I
my wife doesn't drink Bloody Marys. I do.
do too on Sundays.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well.
after church.
Okay. I heard that. Well, what I do, I get my vodka, and as much as you want.
Mm-hmm,
Okay. I'll take my sauce as much as you want.
mm-hmm.
Just pour it in there. Then I'll get some tomato juice.
Yeah.
Pour a little tomato juice in there. There your Bloody Mary.
Hmm.
Spicy. I never done it with the mild because it don't give you what you're looking for.
Right.
Now to top it off, sometimes I add some Tabasco sauce,
Mhm.
just a little bit,
Yeah.
just to give it a little more zap.
Right.
Mhm.
But I made a Bloody Mary.
Mhm. Yeah. I love it. And then yeah.
The all-purpose sauce.
All purpose.
Oh my goodness, yes.
We even got a keto sauce
A key.
that we done made.
Yeah.
We're waiting on our labels to come back.
Mm.
Okay.
And once we get our labels, then we're going to put it out on the market.
Wow.
And in chili, I can't. It's got to be delicious in chili. We're
Oh,
getting that
yes,
kind of out of the
sir.
chili time of year, but
Yes. Oh man,
I
chili
can't-
is anytime. Just like
Is that
barbecue.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Is
just
that
like
right?
barbecuing.
I
is
can't say
anytime.
I've eaten the chili in the summertime, maybe once or twice,
Yeah.
but not very often.
No, we
Yeah,
eat
I've always put barbecue sauce in my chili,
really.
no matter what I've had. Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
always like, no, we got to add some barbecue sauce to that.
Okay.
I'm going to try the ghetto sauce in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that sounds delicious.
And what I like about this, there is really hardly any sugar in this at all.
Thank
3
you.
grams.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's 4% of your daily value.
Mhm.
And there is no fat. It's 20 calories for 2 tablespoons, which is nothing, which tells me it's all spices and
And
really good ingredients.
And it's natural.
It's yeah.
And one thing I can tell you on there, you're going to see Worcestershire sauce.
Mhm.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
We don't use anchovies because anchovies is in Worcestershire sauce.
Oh, is
We
that
don't.
right?
We had to go. No, she sent off to what in the world was that? Columbus, Ohio,
Mhm.
and that's where we get a 55-gallon barrel from them. But we have to order more than one because
Right.
it's coming. So that's what we use.
Huh.
It's no anchovies in our sauce.
Because that'd make it add some sodium to it.
Mhm.
Yeah. This has 5% of your daily allowance of sodium, which is nothing.
Thank you.
It's nothing based upon what people normally,
Mm.
if they start looking at labels, they'll really realize,
Yeah.
holy smokes, I'm taking, like if you look at a regular barbecue sauce, there's probably a lot of sugar in there.
Oh man, And then they got high fructose corn syrup.
Right.
And, speaking of that, one day I was doing a demo at a Snook store, and this lady tried my sauce, and she says, "Oh, this is lovely." She says, "Do you have high fructose corn syrup in there?" I looked at her. I said, "What's that?" she said,
Excuse me.
"Wait a
ma'am.
minute. You making this and you don't know what you got in your sauce?"
I know that's not in it.
Yeah, right. Well, she flipped out on me, right? So that was a Sunday. That Monday, King's Foods Bottling Company was making our sauce at that time. So that Monday, I told the wife what happened. So when I said, I'm gonna go up there and find out what they doing to this sauce. So I go up there and I just did some small talk. And I said, oh, by the way, I said, are you putting high fructose corn syrup in the sauce? They said, yeah. I said, why?
Yeah.
They said it's cheaper. It's, you won't be paying a lot of money for your sugars. I said, hold up, man. I didn't give you my recipe like that.
Right.
They changed it.
Oh.
They changed my recipe.
Isn't that nice?
So they said, I said, no. I said, you got to put it back like it was.
Right.
Mhm.
So they said, okay. I said, so what you going to do? I said, you going to charge me? Oh, no, we're not going to charge you anything extra. I said, okay, then thank you. They made a batch. They sent me a bill. They charged me 50 cents more because they had to put the ingredients in there that I gave them.
Mm.
Now, it was my fault because I didn't get that in writing. If I had got that in writing, they charged me, I'd have had them.
Mhm.
But no, I had to go along with the program.
Oh,
Mm.
man.
So you live and you learn.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and that's how groups who they cut costs and they're just grabbing a little bit of that.
Yeah.
You know? You think about like 2 cents on every gallon of gas.
Mhm.
You know how many millions of gallons of gas? 2 cents. That's
That's a
a lot of
lot.
change.
Woo-hoo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
2 cents. But
Oh, it adds up.
yeah,
It
absolutely.
does. It
Yeah.
adds up. Makes a difference. I know.
Well, I am really glad that you came in. I'm glad we were able to
Thank
Oh.
you.
connect at Soulard and
Yeah.
have a little conversation and then expand on that. And
I got
this has
some-
been wonderful.
I've got some good notes here. I do.
Thank
Freddie Lee,
you.
I'm ready. I'm working on your cookbook already.
Well, we might have to sit down and get
Yes,
together
we
on
should.
that.
I think we should. I know. We do a family cookbook for every Christmas.
Oh, that's
around. So
great.
we get everybody's,
Yeah.
recipes and we put one together
Okay.
and we revise it every year. It's a lot of fun, but
Yeah.
we're going to have to add Freddie's.
Yeah.
Some of Freddie's.
You drive by Mark's
I
place, you'll
know.
see him tinkering out there with
Oh,
the with the grill now.
Yeah, my one son just got a smoker and he's real excited. So I'm
Okay.
gonna pass on some of your recipe ideas.
Great.
Yeah,
Please do.
yeah. He
That's cool.
loves all that stuff.
We're gonna do this 314 coming up next month.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna be outside in front of the shop, just grilling.
Grilling and chilling.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Freddie Lee, thanks for coming on St. Louis in Tune.
Thank you, brother. Thank
Yeah.
you for having me.
Oh yeah,
You bet.
Appreciate
Come
it.
back.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just let me know.
All right.
yeah. And I want to try the new sauce that he's working on. We'll get that.
Keto
Yeah.
sauce.
Yes,
Yeah.
can't wait to see that.
Well, we've come to the end, Mark,
We are there.
and what a great time.
Quickly coming.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know where
Man, my mouth's watering.
I know
just-
the whole hour just flew by.
It-
Thank you,
it
Freddie
did.
Lee.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys so
Yeah.
much.
Don't forget, we've if you've missed some old shows, you can catch them on stlntune.com. stlntune.com, our new website, folks. Our new website. So that's all for this hour. Thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode with Freddie Lee, you can enjoy other episodes, as I said, at stlntune.com. Consider leaving a review on Apple Podcast, Podchaser, or your preferred podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more listeners and continue to grow. Thanks to Bob Berthasell for our theme music, co-host Mark Langston, and we thank you for being a part of our community of curious minds. St. Louis in Tune is a production of Motif Media Group and the U.S. Radio Network. Remember to keep seeking, keep learning, walk worthy, and let your light shine. For St. Louis in Tune, I'm Arnold Stricker.